Yo, what's going on? How's everybody doing? Who do we got in here today? How is everybody? Good, 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 good. Hey, there might be a slight little delay as I'm working off my phone's Wi-Fi, but we should be good in about a second. We just got to let things kind of buffer up. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I'm still here in Mexico, and dude, it's I don't know what happened, like on the block or something, wherever we are, the the Wi-Fi went out. The Wi-Fi went out, so we've been just hanging here. So I'm actually kind of using I even got a little microphone today to make sure that everything runs smooth. But let me know, where are you guys at? Where are you guys coming in from? What you guys doing? What you guys trade today? Seems like a good day in the markets. It looks like we got a little bit of a pickup in the markets right now. So we've been having really kind of a nasty nasty little, I guess nasty little downtrend for the last little bit, but we are back in action. Jason, how are you, buddy? Greetings from Hungary. Whistler. Good, good, good. Lawrence. Jayhawks, baby. Awesome. Hey, Robert, how are you? Guys, good to see everybody. Hey, Mr. K, what's going on, man? I do a lot of webinar all day. Slovakia, sick. Jason, what's up, baby? Good, 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 good. What's the hot place for this week? What are you guys all trading? Hey, Nicholas Gang, long time no see. The gangbang. The dirty. How you doing, Kishan? Canada, good. The net wealth changes from day to day, depending on what these cryptos are doing. Oh, shit. Man, it's awesome to see everybody in here today. Good. BNB. All right. XLM on the move. I've been watching XLM too. Mr. Purnell, how are you, sir? Awesome. Well, let me get my charts up and let's get this party moving, if that's okay with you guys. And I apologize. This will be the last day that I do anything with really, really slow internet. We'll be back in the United States of America in no time to, get back to doing, our regular trading. So we shouldn't be too much, too slow anytime soon. We're going to be speeding this bad boy up a little bit. I'm not living anywhere. I'm just in Mexico with my friends. We're in Tulum, and Tulum is an awesome place. But the place I'm staying at, you can see here, it's like this old hacienda, and it's this big giant compound on the beach, and so it's all just made out of concrete and stone, and it's just hard for the signals to come in. So the Wi-Fi is like notoriously slow, right in this house. It's not bad in other parts. I did my crypto webinar earlier at noon, and that one went really well. I mean, the Wi-Fi was fast. Mr. Gate was in it, and Mr. Kate was in it, and many of you others. So, man, what are you going to do, man? It's the price you pay to travel. What I should be doing is I should have got myself a little satellite internet or something like that, just in case, so that I'd be able to, do some of these webinars. But it's been fine up until really this just handful of things. So what can you do? All right, so tell me when you guys see my screen, and let's get into some chats. So you guys able to see? Cool. Are you guys able to see this, loonies? Cool. I think you should. All right, good. Cool, cool, cool. So let's take a look at the markets, and then overall, let's figure out the plays for next week. And like I told you guys, this will be the last week that I goof around like this on a really slow Wi-Fi. But everybody needs a little time away sometimes, and so here we are. And we may be shooting marketing videos and all that kind of fun stuff over here. So, a couple things. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and what Bitcoin needs to do to get going, and then from there, let's see where we're at in terms of the market. So a couple things with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is starting to get some footing down here, not enough to call it necessarily a bottom. So I'm not sure, sometimes we just don't know. What we can see here is in this 10,000 area, we are starting to build up some type of support, and that's good, right? We want to see that. And so we're starting to build a little bit of support right at that 10,000 level. And that's important for a couple reasons. Psychologically, 10,000 is a big number because it's just the word 10. I don't know why people give a shit about stuff like that, but they do. And the second part is that's a 50% drop from our $20,000 high. And so it's an important level because psychologically, you don't want to lose more than 50%, right? And so it's right at a sweet spot that I think it could hold. We just won't know for sure. What we have here is something that's just a quintessential. We went on a monster run from 2,000 to 20,000. And so the natural course of action is to base out or correct for a long period of time. So remember this, that coins and stocks, they correct in two different ways, right? You can correct via pulling back in price, or you can have a correction via time. And so we're kind of doing both. One of the things that happens when you get an uninterrupted run is you got to think of it as like you ran personally a marathon, right? Well, if you ran personally a marathon and you just ran it straight through, how long would you need to take a breather? Versus if you ran a 5K, right? The need is a lot quicker. And so that's kind of what Bitcoin's done. It's went on a big run. And so now it's got to come back to some level of support and just chill out for a period of time. And it's not obscene to have 2 or 3 months where you chill out, because think about the run that you went on. And if you look at the past history of Bitcoin, we've had numerous phases in Bitcoin's history, and even this year in particular, where we have consolidated for periods of time. So you could see, like, even in the summer, after we went on that run in August, we spent 1 month, about 2 months, just going sideways, consolidating and building pressure. We get our power from consolidations, and we came back from 5,000 down to 2,800 or 3,000. So we had a 60% retracement. So 6 months are not out of the question when we're talking about such a volatile instrument. If you look previous, the few months before, from June to the end of August, we had a multi-month consolidation right here also, where we went on a big run from 800 to 3,000, and then we sat around for a period of a couple months. The sitting around does a couple things. At some point when you drop, the chart looks nasty. Your moving averages will be on top of the chart. It'll look like a downtrend. But at some point over time, that starts to heal itself, and all of a sudden the chart will start to shape up and tighten up. And when you start to get over your moving averages, see, when you start to build your pattern over the moving averages, that's when you start to really, really build some power. And that's when we want to start to look at this and say, okay, we've got something that is, we've got something that's powerful. And so we're getting into that phase now where, look, we've come a long way, but we're starting to hold support. And slowly but surely, it won't be a one-day thing. It won't even be a 5-day thing. But slowly over time, as these moving averages flatten out and you break over them, what you'll start to do is build your base and build your pattern over the moving averages and provide the leverage and the intensity that you need to go forward. And so that's all that we're doing right now, is just building building our pattern. And so it's just not there yet, but it is starting to hold and build. And once these MAs flatten out, use your imagination, they'll start to flatten out. And then when you bust over them and build, that's when you'll have the energy to break this trend line. And then at that point, your next stop will probably be 17,000. And then if you're a believer in Bitcoin, then you would be back up to 20,000. But you're going to need some work to do. Nothing is ever a linear event. These things are always this. So let's take a look at Ethereum, which looks a little bit more constructive than Bitcoin. What Ethereum is doing is, it's going to run from 700 to 1,400, and it came down and retraced about 50% too. That's always seems to be the norm. And now you're starting to tighten your range. See how you're tightening your range right here? Your 9 EMA is already flat on this, and you're kind of flat on you're flattening out on a couple different levels. And so in terms of Ethereum, it's looking pretty constructive already. If you can break over this trend line and close, meaning build a full candle over the 9 that spot's going to be, as you can see, it faded off the 9 EMA here, faded up the 9 EMA here, and it's stuck at the 9 EMA right now. And so what we need to do is break and close above this to restart the momentum. The one thing with Ethereum to really always look for is this. Whenever you go on big runs on Ethereum, it takes a while for it to consolidate. Ethereum made it to 300, right? It took 2-3 days before it went higher. And then it went on its next run, and then it took 2-3 weeks to consolidate, then it went higher. One of the things that but it does more handful, and then and so what you have to remember is that more time, it spends more time consolidating than it ever does running. And so to see it consolidate, it's not out of the norm, and frankly, it's healthy. A couple more days like this, your 50 SMA will start to catch up, and you'll start getting a pogo stick effect for its next run. But just remember, the history of Ethereum is that it can spend quite a bit of time sitting in consolidation rows, sometimes months, when it gets extended. And so we've got to always be cognizant of where this thing started, which was like at $1, and where it went. And when something gets really far ahead of itself, it's going to take some time to rest out and build out your next pattern. Like if it breaks this trend line here, it's not going to just go straight up to 1,400. What it might do is start to release and start kind of working its way back up. And then next time it gets to 1,400, it will not probably break out there, right? Because that's just going to be your second test of resistance. To break out, you're going to need multiple tests. So for a long time, for the next few months, Ethereum might just be in a range. It might break from here, run to 1,400, then it'll probably work its way back, and then it's going to have to work its way all the way back for the third test before it can ever go. And so we're just going to be in a multi-month range, but it's going to be a big range that we can trade around and take short-term patterns in that can be really, really constructive and still make money. Another one that I'm watching right now, and I'm actually in this from today at 1370, is this Binance coin. So Binance coin looks a little bit like Bitcoin. It's building some support down here in that 11 range, and we're starting to build some pressure, and this 9 EMA is flattened out. If you can get over this 9 EMA and close, which it hasn't been able to since it started its drop, then this thing will be off to the races too. Just like Ethereum, it's got the same exact pattern. That's why I am currently in both of them as of this morning or this afternoon for a trade in anticipation of them breaking out over those trend lines. So I think we've got something constructive there. This Unicoin is up 20% today. This is another one that I'm currently in, and I've been a holder of this, but this one we've recently just started to look at re-adding, because after its big run and its ICO, where essentially went from like 250 all the way back down, built some nice support. Your 9 EMA is starting to curl up, which is your telltale sign that the momentum is starting again. This one could be back into the 0.16 range in a matter of days to 2 weeks. And so that could give us a double on this. And so I'm starting to slowly reload some trading shares in this. I'm a long-term investor in this, but I'm reloading trading shares in this because this one looks like it's got the heat for essentially what would be a short-term base breakout. So I like this look a lot also. I'm an adder of coins in the last couple days as I think that the market's starting to settle down and hold. ADA is another one that looks similar to Unicoin Gold, where it went from 44 to $1.40, so tripled in price. And then it came all the way back down. It's just kind of following this trend line right now. If it can break and hold over this trend line, this thing could be right off back to 90 cents or $1. It very, very quickly giving us a potential, 50% gain. I'm a big believer in this one. I have my stop just right under 50 cents, and I'm going to swing trade this one back to the high. My average on this, for disclosure, is 62 cents. Neo is another one that looks great just right now. After this big run, we got to almost $200. We pulled back and are holding at some levels of support here. We have now moved over two of our moving averages and busted over our trend line. I think this one is ready to go right now. The crypto market's had a 50% retracement, guys, and is starting to hold supports. A 50% retracement and holding support is very powerful because it will allow fresh buyers to emerge and to show themselves and avail themselves to start a new potential run. So that's going to be something that could be very, very powerful. So I like this one a lot too. Keep an eye on this. A lot of you guys are asking about ICX. This does look really good. If you break this high right here, I'm a buyer of this on Binance.com. Binance is just a Chinese exchange, but they've got a really nice platform and iPhone app. The one thing is don't keep too much money in it. It is Chinese, but they've got the best platform, the best charting, the best iPhone app. And anything over this 0.85, test. I'm a buyer of this. I like this one too, so add that to your list. IOTA looks like a hoe, just to be honest, right? So this one, it had a lot of hype, and the hype just died. It went on a huge run to $6, and you could just see it's kind of just bear flagging around right now. It's 9 EMA still coming down. You're starting to find some support, but you're not really seeing anything constructive. This chart looks more damaged than the others. So this is one that I'm officially a stay away from at the moment. Litecoin. Let's talk about Litecoin. So Litecoin went on that big run from $50 to 425, 1,000% gain, right? Man, what a move that was for a couple days. Now, it's been just coming back and back and back. And you could see, like, it's still got time. It needs a lot. It needs still more weeks maybe for its range to tighten up before it can go. It's under, obviously, a lot of sell pressure. It's got a lot of resistance overhead. And so I think that there's just going to be easier coins for us to go out and buy versus trying to figure out where the bottom in Litecoin is. I think the first thing we need to see before Litecoin is a buy is for this range to still tighten up a little bit more and for these EMAs to flatten out. Then you want it to break above and start to build and then break that trend line. And that's when we'll have a go at this. BCA, it's nothing constructive here, right? It's just in a downtrend at the moment. I mean, its moving averages are coming down steep too. They're not even looking like they're flattening out yet. I'd leave that alone. That's a sell. Bitcoin Gold, right after this nice little push, we're just kind of flatlining down here. There's no constructive pattern or nothing that we could even see yet to repair this. It's just so sloppy and got so much junk going on that I think we leave that one alone. Yeah, same type of deal. Like it's come down 50% or more. But dude, it went